We should think of ourselves, all of us, this world is Smallville, is a small town, and we should feel like neighbors. And if that idea sort of subliminally gets planted in kids throughout the world, then something can grow from that.
Philosophically, that's really the philosophical approach. You graduated with honors from one of the toughest universities in the United States, Cornell. Then you went on to Juilliard, then went on to the Old Vic in London, then went to Comédie Française in Paris. You must have a philosophical grasp of this appeal that Superman has that's more than just a cartoon character. Philosophically, what does Superman represent to people?
A friend, and that's what people really need most.
The world needs Superman. Whether you're a fan or not, you have to admit the amount of impact his character has had on pop culture. Since 1939, Superman has served as a hopeful beacon in a sea of edgy superheroes like Cable, Deadpool, or basically any Rob Liefeld character. To understand why we need him, we first have to look at the present, and specifically the popularity of one character. Okay, don't click off the video yet. Look, I love Batman. Much of my early social media presence was built on Batman content, even much of my content now. The Batman 2022 is still one of my favorite films of all time, but it's undeniable that the public's view of his character has shaped how people take in general superhero media. Go and pick up a Batman comic. Even the most famous Batman comics many of these films are based on, like Batman Year One or The Dark Knight Returns, show that he's not a very mentally well man. If you regularly listen to comic book video essays, you've probably heard it before. Bruce Wayne is an 8-year-old boy in a grown man's body, reliving the same traumatic event on repeat, every night, over and over again. To him, every criminal is the man that killed his parents. And that's why he goes out every night. That's his mission, is to prevent the same thing that happened to him happening to anybody else. Many adaptations have failed to capture this. Primarily... Okay, I know I lost some of you there. You may be saying, this is a Superman video. Stop talking about Batman. Trust me, it will make sense in a moment. The Dark Knight trilogy manages to misunderstand Batman in so many ways. Don't get me wrong, Christian Bale is a great actor. It isn't his fault. It's not even fully Christopher Nolan's fault, or Jonathan Nolan. Batman Begins gave a strong start to the trilogy, with us understanding Bruce and how he's not exactly the most mentally well person ever. The Dark Knight is more of a Joker movie than anything, but does some good Batman stuff. The most compelling thing it does for Bruce is make the statement that
you either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
But this is where it all goes downhill. Yes, Rachel dies and Bruce is sad. And by the end of the film, Bruce remains Batman. But Bruce is too focused on Rachel in the movie. The Dark Knight, to me, is a less compelling version of Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Did I lose you? Okay, good. If you're still here, The Dark Knight Rises is absolute garbage. And arguably one of the worst Batman movies we've ever had. Maybe the worst if it weren't for... Anyway, the movie does nothing for Bruce's mental state. That I can think of off the top of my head. And most people agree that it's the worst in the trilogy. Cosmonaut has a great video, and I recommend you go watch it. that talks about it a lot better than I do. But why does this matter for Superman? Well, following the Dark Knight trilogy, Christopher Nolan talks to his friend, David S. Goyer, about the idea of a Superman movie that's more grounded. Yeah. So let's enter... Oh boy. I can hear the comments now. Look, I don't like this movie. And it really gave a modern audience the wrong idea of Superman. The best thing I can say about Man of Steel and its writing is it serves as an okay starting point for building the character of Superman to our idea of what he should be. Superman as a character, conceptually, is that he is more human than any of us, which the movie utterly fails at, making him this godly figure. But I can accept that Zack Snyder is taking a different approach. Honestly, just because I don't like the movie as a Superman movie doesn't make it a bad movie. But it is probably the worst Superman... Oh, God. Holy balls. Yep. This movie sucks. This movie fails to build Clark's character at all. You've probably heard it a million times, but he spends most of the movie standing in silence, looking sad. In 2.5 hours, Superman has 43 lines of dialogue. In comparison, Batman has twice that. Dark and broody Batman. Robert Pattinson has more lines in The Batman than Superman does in BVS. Superman's character is basically just Batman with superpowers, and Batman is just made into the Punisher. I don't know what else to say about this movie, other than it doesn't understand the characters at all. Oh, and yeah, they kill him off. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. This movie, or both versions, don't do much for Superman's character. I think it tries to deliver in some ways. Specifically in this scene. And this scene.
Well, I believe in truth. But I'm also a big fan of justice.
But it's pointless if I have no emotional connection to him. So let's talk about something good. Let's talk about... This show made me love Superman. I'm not kidding. I had read a few comics that got me to like him, but I didn't love his character because I didn't understand him. How can a story with such a powerful character be compelling? And then I watched the first episode of Superman and Lois, and then the second, and before I knew it, I had watched an entire season of television in the span of a few hours. I'm 3 pages into the script, and finally I found it. Something that understands Superman's character. Something that understands that Superman isn't compelling because of his powers, but that he's human, just like the rest of us. A man with a family. A man with superpowers. A super man.
Here you go, friend.
Thanks. Cool costume.
Thanks. My mom made it for me.
This idea was only cemented by what I watched next. Oh, it's good. It is so good. Where Man of Steel is okay, Smallville is good. But this is the perfect Superman origin show. It understands each and every character almost flawlessly, with its standout being Lois and Clark. Clark is perfectly voiced by Jack Quaid, who nails the goofiness of Clark and hope of Superman. Not seen in animated form since, I'd argue, Justice League Unlimited. I don't know what else to say other than this show is wonderful, and the animation is breathtaking. But finally, that leaves us to... God, this movie looks so good. David looks great as Superman. I can only hope that it manages to nail Superman as good as My Adventures with Superman, or Superman and Lois. But from what I can tell, we're in good hands. David was great in Hollywood, and is simply amazing as Superman in some of the scenes in the trailer. Rachel is bringing something to Lois that we haven't seen in live action since probably Margot Kidder. She is bringing some great energy to the role, truthfully. I love her in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and the chemistry between the two of them is just magical. Don't even get me started on Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. James Gunn, as we know from the Guardians trilogy, is a great director, and the future looks bright, which is truthfully what these characters need, and even more what we need. Because ultimately, we all need to be a little bit more like Superman. Thank you for watching until the end. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps us. Comment down below to let us know what we should cover next. If you liked hearing what I had to say, and you want to hear more from me, follow me at Emo Rainbow Cause on everything. For more from Sleepy Cat Films, follow the Sleepy Cat Films on everything. Links in the description. So that's all from me. Logan, signing off.
That's all, folks.